The Nothing Headphone 1, priced at $299 USD, is in a pretty competitive market for mid to high-end over-the-ear headphones. These are Nothing's first over-ear headphones, tuned by KEF and rocking some very sleek, transparent vibes, promising crazy long battery life, but my question is, do they live up to the hype? Especially in real-world use, like a long airplane ride, so let's find out. What's up, s'mores? I'm Shannon Morse. Welcome back to my channel, where we dive into tech that is smart, secure, and stylish. These are some big boys. They're 173 millimeters tall, 189 millimeters deep, weighing in at 329 grams. That is not going to be feather light, but honestly, these are really super comfortable to wear. I wore them for about 4 hours straight on a plane ride. I did not feel that dreaded headband pressure or over-ear cup squeeze. That is quite impressive given that I was also wearing my glasses the whole time, and often having glasses and headphones on can give you a headache. I did notice that these have a pretty smooth adjustment movement, but once in place, it holds firm and they don't loosen over time. That's a huge win there. This design is quite beautiful and very, very Tron-like. It's really cool. You have a transparent cover and you can see some of the hardware underneath, and that's on both sides, both right and the left, so it looks really cool either way. These do match the Nothing phones perfectly, and they give a very techie flair to the headphones. You also get a roller on the side right here, and that is for your volume and the playback controls. There's also a paddle that you can hit front and back, and that is for track control and calls, and there's a dedicated ANC and transparency toggle. I really like having physical controls. They feel so tactile and way less finicky than touch gestures. These are also IP52 rated, which means light dust and water resistance, not swim proof, but enough for sweaty walks or light rain. Also, if you're finding this video helpful, subscribe. I review a lot of similar tech, and I also do comparisons too. Also, a big Patreon shout out to my fantastic s'mores. You can join them and support my channel by going over to patreon.com/Shannon Morse for perks like early video access and my private Discord. As usual, all the videos on my channel are free to watch, and I thank my YouTube members and my patrons for making that possible. Now, inside these pretty headphones, you are getting 40 millimeter dynamic drivers with a frequency range of 20 Hz up to 40 kilohertz, tuned by KEF. That is a big name in the audiophile world, and you can tell Nothing wanted these to punch above their weight. So I will say, the sound profile is warm, it's pretty detailed, vocals sound nice and crisp, bass is strong without drowning everything out, and with LDAC enabled on Android, you can get high-res audio that feels kind of lush. In my opinion, the audio was heavier on the bass, which I personally prefer, and it sounded really well balanced in the ear. I tested these with podcasts, with Huntrix music from K-pop Demon Hunters, some lo-fi hip-hop I was listening to, Ganja White Night, and bass-heavy trip-hop. It handled all those ranges really well with no noticeable artifacts or distortions. Also, the app, which is called Nothing X, controls your settings with lots of customizability. For example, you can change the noise cancellation from on to transparency mode to off. Spatial audio can also be changed, and there's also a bass enhancement, an equalizer, and customizing your controls. So here's where I would say things got a little bit tricky. On paper, the Nothing Headphone 1 comes with adaptive ANC up to 42 decibels, transparency mode, and a 6-mic array with ENC. In practice, on my flight, I could still hear pretty much everything around me when I had ANC turned on. The pilot's announcements came through quite clear, the flight attendant rolling by with food, and the constant engine hum. I could pretty much hear all of it. It took the edge off, but it did not hush the world like my Sony's did or my Bose did. If ANC is your top priority, I would say these are not there yet. Somebody might comment below and say, are you sure you aren't using them in transparency mode? Yes, Jen, I am sure. Transparency mode can be enabled via the app or via control, and when turned on, it gives a very similar experience to other headphones that offer this. There's this quiet hum, and conversations are amplified in your ear. It's definitely different than ANC, which basically sounds like I'm cupping my palms over my ears, but noise is still leaking through, very clearly. Now this part is very impressive. With ANC off, you can squeeze up to 80 hours of playback on AAC. Even with ANC on, it's around 35 hours. With LDAC, it's 30 to 54 hours depending on the ANC. Now in my real world testing, I went from 100% down to 80% battery after 8 hours on a plane with ANC on the whole time. That is bonkers good. Plus fast charging gives you 5 hours of playback with ANC off from just a 5-minute top up. The battery life is where Nothing's headphones really, really shine. Along with the battery, we also have Bluetooth 5.3 with dual connection, so you can connect them to 2 different devices. Also very cool. Google Fast Pair and Microsoft Swift Pair. Now Google Fast Pair recognized them immediately on all my different devices. On-head detection for auto pause and play. This also worked really, really well. Every time I took them off or put them back on, it immediately paused my music or the video that I was watching. There's also Hi-Res audio wireless, and they are LDAC certified, plus you can do wired playback with the included 3.5mm cable. I also noticed that latency is low enough for casual gaming or watching Netflix without noticeable lag. Now in the box, you get the headphones, a soft shell case, USB-C cable, a 3.5mm audio cable, and of course the paperwork. So pretty solid kit there. So the Nothing Headphone 1, for $299, you are getting some excellent comfort there, a gorgeous Nothing design with some tactile controls, a very long battery life that actually lasts a really long time, LDAC and Hi-Res certified audio, and you have those intuitive and responsive controls and that on-ear detection. But also, ANC is nowhere near what Sony and Bose offer. They are chunky for small bags or long travel, and they're a little bit heavy, and transparency mode could feel more natural, in my opinion. If battery life and comfort are your priorities, and you love the Nothing design language, then these are solid. But if ANC is a deal breaker, you might want to stick with alternatives. Now, I hope that answered all your questions about these brand new headphones. I really enjoyed testing these, and I love the battery life, and I love the intuitive design and the buttons. It's really cool, but I would love to see them perform a little bit better with ANC, so hopefully we see a second generation of headphones from Nothing with a bit of a quality upgrade there. That's really the only thing I would ask for. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below if you have any questions or concerns, or just you want to say hello. I'm always welcoming to those too. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all. Oh my God, don't bite me. Don't bite me, girl. You are such a kitten. I love you too. You're so cute. I know, but you're big now. You're a big girl. You've grown. Look how much she's grown since she was last on the channel. She's grown quite a bit. And it's only been like a month and a half. Look at that. She's so cute. Don't bite the phone, please. Please don't bite. Please don't bite the phone. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Ow, don't bite me either. She's a nibbler, dude. She's teething.